Thanks to our friends at The Motley Fool for sponsoring this video. Check out the link below, fool.com/The Smattering, to get access to the 10 best stocks to buy right now. A lot of investors are concerned about recession and its potential impact on the stock market here in 2023. You might be looking to make some defensive investments. Stocks that are part of the defense industry like Raytheon might be part of what you're thinking about buying. I'm Jason Hall. This is The Smattering. And before you buy Raytheon stock, though, there's three things that you probably need to know first. I've got Tyler Crowe here with me to talk through them. Hey, Tyler.
How's it going, Jason? I think there's a lot of talk about Raytheon right now. They're in the headlines quite a bit. There's a active ground war in Ukraine, and the United States is supplying a lot of munitions for them, which has brought Raytheon to the fore for things like Stingers and Stinger missiles, Javelin missiles, and talking about depleted inventories of those, right? If you're making them, they're got to be replenished. And so it's a company that's getting a lot of attention. And so obviously front of mind for investors. But, before immediately seeing the need for missiles and being like, oh, got to buy Raytheon, there's a few things you got to consider first. For one, it's not entirely a defense company. In fact, its defense is a smaller proportion of its entire business than one might think. With the combination of Raytheon and United Technologies a couple of years ago, it became this hybrid between defense and commercial aerospace. Things like Pratt & Whitney engines on Airbus airplanes, doing a lot of original equipment manufacturing for commercial airlines, as well as doing some defense stuff. But, for the most part, it's not that pure defense company that people might be looking at in this environment, because defense has been one of the best sectors for, finding outperformance and pretty conservative investments versus commercial aerospace, which has been a pretty wild ride its entire existence. Now, again, getting back to that Stinger missile, Javelin missile, how much of a big uplift is going to be? Well, not huge. That's particular segment of the business. And we're not those two exclusively, but, missiles and defense, that's about 20% of revenue, about 23% of segment operating profits. So decent size, but you still got a huge part of a company that you need to learn and understand before you even get to that one uplift. You have to be paying attention to a lot of the other aspects of the business, notably commercial aerospace.
So Tyler, our first couple of things that we've talked about, number one, it does have a defense business, but it's more of a hybrid. And if you get the stability there with the defense business, you also have a big commercial aerospace business that's far from being stable. And then even with the defense business, it's a small part of its business. It generates a nice, meaningful part of profits, but it's a small part of the business. So those are the first two things. The third one, I guess, is just kind of the reality that you take those first two things and you put them together. And if you're an investor that's looking for stability and a less volatile stock, that's not necessarily where Raytheon might fit in your portfolio.
Yeah, I mean, certainly if we were talking about Raytheon 2 to 3 years ago with the pandemic coming in and commercial airlines grinding to a halt, it would not have looked like the stable investment that, a Northrop Grumman or a Lockheed Martin looked by comparison. Today with commercial aerospace or, commercial airlines on the upswing again, perhaps it's a more attractive time to look. But that's kind of the whole point. It's not one of those, this is going to be that conservative, you more or less, anytime you look at it, it's going to look, more or less the same. That cyclicality is going to probably make investors want to be a little bit more cautious as to when they want to actually enter into a company like this.